I was blown away with the level of details that some of these clients look forward to, and the expectations versus what we are delivering, and how we have to raise our bars, how to make it perfect. So a lot of things I learned from servicing these clients, according to me, right? So without being an immigrant, you can, if you are able to communicate with the rest of the world, that's one thing that I always learned in my life. That's another reason why I have let my family travel quite a lot. I think my son has almost traveled 47 countries in the last 18 years. So the learnings are from my own personal experiences, that connecting with people around the globe, whether you are migrating to another country or not, that doesn't matter. But then if you are experiencing that, the learning is unmatched. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite, Martin, and it's a pleasure to be here. And I know you guys are doing phenomenal job with this podcast.
Welcome to the Immigrant Pod. I'm glad you made the time for us. Really, I think immigrants this morning are going to learn quite a bit from you. We're going to have a good time. That's the goal, is to have a good time. I want you to take the lead and tell your story.
As you probably know, I come from southern India, from a city called Madurai, which is almost like tail end of India, the bottom tail, right? And I studied my school in Madurai, and then I migrated to a city called Chennai, and where I did my initial couple of stints with the startup companies. But then I realized down the line, I know I always carried this entrepreneurial journey in me, and I really wanted to contribute something towards my own aspirations. And I founded a small startup way back that is like almost 25 years back, and I ran that for a couple of years. And down the line, I also realized that my dreams are way bigger, and then I will get back to some of the stories that I really wanted to present, but I will just want to skip some of those and move forward. In 2010, there were big dreams on a product which we wanted to build, and I thought maybe it's a great idea with big dreams, and when I want to make the dreams come to real, and when it has to hit the reality, it needs to be executed in a different style. And I believed moving from a country like India and coming to a country like America can give a bigger opportunity or a bigger platform for my dream, right? So that's the day that I decided, or that's the moment I decided that I need to move into this country. And unlike most or a lot of immigrants who come into this country, as a person who seek an opportunity to work for somebody, I created a company based out of Delaware, and it's a Delaware C Corp. It's a company called Maxter, along with my partners, and we set up an office in New York, and we said, hey, you know what, this is where our opportunity is. This is where, as an immigrant, you could have a larger platform to play. If you really see, hey, why not from India? The reason is the business type. The business type we founded is quite large in play, and it needs a platform like this country. The opportunities are abundant for us to roll out and start seeing the benefits. The business is Maxter. It's a global digital reading platform where we give like an unlimited reading experience for digital magazines and newspapers. To put it in short, it's like a Netflix, and where you can in fact subscribe on a monthly basis, pay like $9.99 and read unlimited newspapers and magazines. That's the platform, right? And the global publishing headquarters is New York. All the global leading publishers, right from New York Times to Wall Street Journal to Condé Nast and Hearst magazines, everybody is based out of New York, and we wanted to set up a platform here in New York for the business. That's the biggest dream I carried all the way from India to here. So, right. So little twist. I did not come here to get a work visa and work for somebody. Instead, I came here to start a business. and I started a business and then employed people, and we hired a lot of people. The product and the entire technology was driven from our New York office with people who had relevant experience. So, uh, so at that point, the dream is pretty large. The burden is big, but all we saw is hope, because we believed that as an immigrant and as a country where we can really bring a lot of these dreams into or these opportunities into reality, right? So that both the combined aspirations, the opportunity that we see in this country and the dreams that we have, we married together. I was able to see all hopes and success already, right?
Yes.
And I think that's a very good decision looking back, right? On hindsight, what we have done, because today we are pretty successful. It's a very good decision that we have taken, and I've been very humble about it, but I'm very happy to share that the opportunity that this country has offered, and as an immigrant, I have faced a lot of not difficulty in that sense. I have faced a lot of challenges, and good challenges and obstacles and so many things, and learnings. That's more important, right? When you're coming here as an immigrant, there is a lot to learn culturally. Even if you're hiring people to work for you, it's a learning. It's not easy. When you are an employer in India, it's different from being an employer in this country. So as an immigrant entrepreneur, you have those challenges, cultural challenges to learn, and the compliances, the laws, the regulations. And thankfully, this country has made a lot of stuff pretty easy, straightforward, and that's very great about this country, right? I think business-wise, it's a very easy platform for us to operate on, but learnings are a lot. But yes, thanks to this opportunity, I'm very successful so far.
Very interesting. Vijay, you talked about two things that I found very interesting in just that brief intro you did about what your immigration journey has looked like. It's very interesting that you carried an idea way back in India from the city of Madurai, where you grew up. That's where you started your immigration journey. But for immigrants or for people who are in foreign countries that are looking to migrate to other countries, they may be looking to migrate to India from another country. They may be looking to migrate from India to Dubai, or from India to London, or from India to South Africa, or from India to Japan, on and on and on. For those people who have a great idea and they think it would be world-changing like yours has been, how do they decide what's the country to migrate to, and what's the strategy to implement their idea, given we know for sure hope is not a strategy?
So I will give you a real different answer for this question, right? I would say I beg to differ that last line of yours. I feel hope is the best strategy.
Okay.
I think life is all about hope, and but definitely backed up by your strategies and support, and I mean all the other plannings that you're going to do for sure. But I think the reason why I feel like I'm very successful in this country after being an immigrant is all about hope. Hope was my major a success factor, because there are a lot of times your hopes are tested, your dreams are being tested, you are put into struggle, you are put in a box, you are put into like a lot of roadblocks, right? And the only way that you overcome all those is by hope and being positive. So I'm coming in a different direction. Sorry about that,
Okay.
but this is my.
You're fine. You're fine. This is what we call a democracy, right? We are exchanging ideas, and I am gonna say, may the best idea win. So let's go.
Yeah, thank you very much. And so with that hope, I think the very next step any immigrant should think of is, why am I even moving from my country to another country? Right? That's a first question that anyone should answer to themselves. Is it because that country offers me a better opportunity than what I am right where I am right now, or my ideas are well executed there than in my own country or wherever I'm living at, right? That's more important. For me personally, the journey that I undertook moving into this country, creating a business and hiring people, running and selling the business, is based on the fact that my business needs a country like America.
Mm-hmm.
My business is in media. My business is in digital media. My business is all about a software platform, a content platform, and everything. The genesis of that is coming from New York, and that's my first alignment with this country as an immigrant. I decided to move into this country because, hey, if this is my dream, this is my piece of business that I'm going to do, where can I do this? Where should I do this? And that's when I got the answer that I have to be coming to this country to do the business and to make this business successful. Number one. Right? So, but for the audience purpose, for a lot of immigrants around, it's not all about coming and doing a business. It's about coming and working for somebody. It's coming and living your life. It's all about aligning culturally. So I think most importantly, the very important answer that you need to ask yourselves, coming to another country, right? Whether coming from India to Dubai or Dubai to America or Singapore to some other country, China or whatever it is, I feel the most important point here is to, whenever you get into that country, can you assimilate into that, and can you understand the culture and contribute back to that country meaningfully when you are immigrating to that country? That's the most important point, where you can start feeling like yourself. This is for your own good, for immigrants' good. You should start feeling on your own. You shouldn't be feeling isolated yourself from the other country's culture. If I'm moving to Singapore, I shouldn't say that, hey, I don't like the culture of Singapore, I want to be a different person. You can be. Nobody is stopping you from being your own. But then understanding and not trying to be part of that culture is the most challenging thing that I could see as an immigrant you will have for your own success. I believe that everything is all about your own growth and what you can give back.
Why is that important, Vijay?
I think it's more important because that way you can know what is needed for the country, what is needed for those people, and what you need, and you can actually integrate yourself well into the system for your own personal growth. Because as an immigrant, it's not about you all the time, it's about your family. And if you are a young couple and getting married and you have children, and this is the major thing that I always feel many of our Indian community has a problem. If you are a first generation immigrant to another country, the kids will experience a different culture. You as a parent will have a completely different culture, right? So you want to drag your kids into a different direction, and the kids are in a different direction. I think there is a right bridge or a right frequency that you need to build to understand the culture and to let everybody experience that. So you won't feel like there is a lot of gap between your own family members, right? So that is very important to build a very successful family as an immigrant, right? You cannot think about yourself, just you. You have to think about you, your family, your ecosystem, your colleagues, your workers, and what you're contributing to everybody, what you are getting from everybody. I think that's why I think the success, I'm calling it a holistic success, not just your own private success. It's a holistic, it's a societal success.
Yeah. So I have, and I'm glad you went here today, right? I have spoken to a lot of very successful entrepreneurs on this show, right? And one thing I keep hearing over and over again is what you're getting to, right? There is a reason and a need to have a holistic picture of what the challenges you face when you migrate to another country should look like, not just for you, but also for the community you're moving into and your family members, right? And besides the fact that there's a lot of cultural shock that affects both you and your family members, most immigrant and entrepreneurs on this show have said, I did pay a price. The price I paid was for some not having the very best of relationship with my children. For others, my marriage did not work out the way I had thought it would. My business did not support my family structure, and so while we're still together, there's a lot of friction. With that all said, immigrants that are entrepreneurs or are very focused on their career but also do not want to lose the relationships of the people that are very close to them, their family members, what would you say to how they would balance the two relationships?
That is exactly where I was trying to communicate with you, right? The holistic success is more important than your personal success. I think that's a major challenge as an immigrant. Definitely anyone is facing. Not just, I cannot find one immigrant who says I'm successful holistically, right? Mm-hmm. So there is always a balanced act that everybody is trying to do as an adult with their families.
Yeah.
I think the fourth one, I think you pointed out three, and then there is a fourth one when you say family members, not the family members that are there with you in a country where you were immigrated, but all the way back to your home country, where you have your extended family, your uncle and aunt. And for example, I come from a family, I got like 20 cousins, right? So I don't have probably one or two cousins live here and the rest of the 18 are back in India. Mm-hmm. So how do we have that balance of relationship with them? That's the most jarring element if you want to keep a family and your holistic, balance in place, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to, for me, I feel the best advice I could give from what I have seen and what I have done is to be regularly in touch with people outside of your own country where you immigrated to, back with your family, travel back whenever you get a chance, connect with the culture. That's why when I started this conversation with you, I was talking about how I am still trying and taking my son back to his roots, showing him how it looks, feel it, and then feel the connect. And he does it whenever I think we are finding time. But again, I really insist upon him going there on his own, connect with his roots and understand. That is going to be once, it's not about the immigrant understanding the new culture of his country, but at the same time, his new family members has to connect back with the roots of his own family. So it goes both ways, right? Yeah. So like the success is not me understanding the American culture or just living the American dream, right? For me, the success is my son also understanding the roots of where he came from, and he connecting back with me gives a complete holistic success. Then I think there is a complete closure of the success. There won't be any imbalance, right? To your point, somebody lost their balance with their own kids because they are in a different cultural plateau and you are in a different cultural plateau. And the success would be from the early stage, you make sure that your family and your kids get that sort of roots into their brain, and then they get fully connected and you have a balance of your new culture versus your roots, right? I feel that that's happening with a lot of families, not a lot of families, I would say, at least with I can connect with families who do that. They try to connect their entire family back to the roots and take them back and teach them some of their cultural values here. There are schools like, for example, Indian classical dance or Indian songs or Indian mythology. There are schools and local languages that they speak back in India. There are schools which teach them to write. Here, mother tongue, my son can speak his mother tongue, but unfortunately he cannot write, right? So there are schools here which teach, and those are the connects if you start making. That's a holistic success as an immigrant with our families.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So let's go back to your business idea. Um, you realize that New York offers you the platform that you want to build your idea on, and that's fantastic. But at the same time, the world was going through an evolution. We were transitioning from radio and print media to online media, right? And a lot of newspapers and magazines struggled with that transition at that point. How did you see your opportunity and how you were going to bring it into the marketplace? And that being said, what was the experience competing with giants like Google that somewhat offered the same platform that you're offering?
Fantastic question. I think that's the most relevant question for the business angle, right?
Yeah.
So for the business that I'm doing, this is a perfect question, and thankfully, I would say you picked up the right question for me to answer the transformation from print media to digital, right? That was all going on from early 2007 and 8 when Apple came out with their iPhone, and they were showing the world that, hey, this is the app ecosystem, and people can download apps, and pretty much anybody who built an app became a millionaire at the time, right? So back in like 2007 and 8, and that's when we realized, because my background is in software, and my wife, she is also from a tech side of the world. And in fact, going back, like I said, in 2000 when I started my own business, that was with my wife at the time. So thankfully, I have a good supportive ecosystem, not only in a family level, personal level, but also in my career. We both started the business together, and all the time that we have experimented with different apps and different, we had a lot of clients from this country. While I was operating from India, we were doing business from India. I had clients from US and UK. So I pretty much know how these guys work, and the culture of the work, the expectations. I mean, to be very honest, I was blown away with the level of details that some of these clients look forward to, and the expectations versus what we are delivering, and how we have to raise our bars, how to make it perfect. So a lot of things I learned from servicing these clients, according to me, right? So without being an immigrant, you can, if you are able to communicate with the rest of the world, that's one thing that I always learned in my life. That's one of the reasons why I have let my family travel quite a lot. I think my son has almost traveled 47 countries in the last 18 years. So the learnings are from my own personal experiences, that connecting with people around the globe, whether you are migrating to another country or not, that doesn't matter. But then if you are experiencing that, the learning is unmatched, right? So coming back to your question, when we were trying different app ecosystems. We were creating an app for some cricket that's happening in India, T20 at the time, IPL, and we were trying to do something with music streaming. Then we realized, hey, you know what? There's a digital media, there's a print industry which is trying to go complete digital, right? There's a transformation that's happening at the time in 2009 and 10. Why not we create a platform for all the publishers to collaborate, and they can publish their titles, and we give them the tools, and we give them a platform so that they can publish, and we can drive the subscribers, and we can make money for them, and we can make money for ourselves. That's the whole goal, right? The game changer here, the way that we launched, the way I thought this product should be done and to be very successful, it should be on win-win with the publishers, where we say, hey, you know what, this is a platform where we are driving the subscribers, your content is the key, and we split the money, we split the revenue. So it's a win-win. There is nothing for the publishers to lose, there is nothing for us to lose if we are bringing enough money to the table, right? So we took up on the challenge of driving the subscribers and creating a tech platform. That is the time when a couple of years later, we launched this business in New York in 2011. But then in 2012, 13, Amazon came up with their own newsstand. You asked the question, right questions, right? When there are big people out there who are doing this business, Amazon wanted to do the digital magazine and newspaper. And then eventually Apple came out with the same idea, right? They wanted to do Apple magazines and newspapers. Now it's still existing. Apple News Plus is a platform. One of our competitors is Apple News Plus. If you subscribe to that, you can read the same magazines that we have, except the fact that they have 200 plus titles. We have 9,500 from around the globe, right? So we did it. I think I told you the fact that I moved into this country to start the business not only helped the publisher relationships, but also with the funding. We went for venture capital. We raised in 2 years almost like $13 million. And we were able to scale up the business pretty fast. And we were able to, I wouldn't say compete, we were able to grow on our own, a global digital newsstand, whereas Apple was focused in the local region that's in North America, and then Amazon was trying to do bits and pieces here and there. But we were able to scale up drastically thanks to a self-service digital publication. Like if you own a magazine, Martin, you could just go and make yourself available on Maxter within 60 minutes. And that's the type of tools that we built, right? So that put us on the edge, and we were able to see drastic growth. And to your point, ideas are a lot. Everybody has ideas. I think it's all about timing. If you are able to successfully time it, I guess we timed it well. I was able to catch the bus at the right time, and at the right place, we launched the business, and that's the biggest driver for our success.
Talking about timing, now in 2025, there is this huge push, or there's another transition that is happening just about the same time when you came to the US, or when your idea matured, and when transition was happening from print to digital media. Today in 2025, we have another evolution that's happening where now AI has been made possible for everybody across the globe. If you were looking at the world from your perspective just prior to you migrating to the US, with the premise of AI being a platform that you're looking at to be able to utilize to launch your business idea, how should immigrants who are looking at AI and questioning how they can bring their ideas into the marketplace approach that?
There needs to be an authority all the time, right? So that's the reason why there is a lot of hope in trusted content authority, and people still believe that this long form content, or I'm going to come to the next part where I'm going to answer your specific question, right? So long story short, there is a lot of AI transformation that's going on, like how, to your point, from print to digital. Now I could see from digital to AI, at least for my piece of the business, right? Mm-hmm. So this is where I'm focusing my energy right now after selling the company, and I'm trying to mentor in terms of transforming this content consumption through AI, and how to make it more meaningful for the consumers, rather than just throwing away like thousands of content right in front of them, because Maxtra such as a platform has 10,000 plus titles and millions of issues, and the challenge is to curate things for the consumers rather than just showing them everything, because to our point, the content has to be democratized and it has to be coming out from their closet. It's always sitting inside the brand and closet. We have to bring out, curate, right? So for that, I realized today you don't have borders, technically, right? You don't have borders to build a massive AI business. You don't really need to have borders, because what was happening like 10, 20 years before, the kind of technology access that we had was completely different from India to Singapore to US to Europe. Today, pretty much the transition time or the adoption time, I would call it, for technology, or the technology to be distributed across the globe, is so short, right? Today, Google builds something, it rolls out to every single country like within a year. And whereas it was not the case like 20 years back, for a country like India, the infrastructure was not that great, the costs were expensive, and adopting a new technology came little late. And by the time we adopt it, we are far behind, right? But in today's AI world, I think those gaps are pretty much closed.
Yes.
And what I can experience sitting in New Jersey, somebody from Madurai can experience already, or maybe they can be even better than me in that sense,
Yes.
right? In terms of getting the access to that specific technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel it is borderless. So to me, the advice is, if you ask me what they can do in today's AI world to build a product across borders and stuff like that, start focusing on what you can do for your local country itself, for your home country, right? You can build a product which can cater to the needs of your own country and to your own people, to your own community, uplifting their infrastructure, uplifting their needs and outcomes and quality of life. So that is a good starting point for any entrepreneur to think about, because with AI, the opportunities are abundant, right? Even though you and me will agree that technology is in nascent stage, any point of time, there could be always a failure point for the technology, right? I think it's not 100% foolproof. It's always, we need to be wary of that. But for a successful business to be built on AI, you don't have to think a lot. You have to start thinking for your own local community at this point of time, which can change human life. I think that is something that I believe more. And then to execute the plan, you can go anywhere, right? I think you can execute the plan wherever you're convenient, wherever the opportunity is offered for you to grow. But the product can be catered itself to your own community, to your own country.
Yeah.
Right. So that is my view on this, because today AI technology access is not that difficult for anybody. It's available for everyone pretty much.
Excellent. So, if you're sitting in a room, you're speaking to young entrepreneurs that have not gotten their feet wet in business, what are some of the things you would want them to know before they go into business, based on your experience thus far?
The major factor as an entrepreneur is you are what do I say? I see there are various factors like hope, time, and your perseverance is more important than anything, right? I have seen successes in my own business because of my perseverance, and there are times that are going to be there where it's going to be tested. You feel like you're failing in your business, or you are not going to be successful. You are going to fail in fundraising. You are going to fail in meeting the consumer's need, or your ecosystem is not favoring your own product. But then your conviction should be stronger. You need to have a strong perseverance. You need to pursue with things that you strongly believe in. So that is my first and foremost advice to anybody. And number two, which is related to number one, is hope. You never give up your hope on that, right? And third point is the timing, right? You and me can think of an idea, but the time that you are launching the idea should be perfectly the time that a product can actually be articulated into the society, right? Mm-hmm. If, as an example, right, if Facebook is coming today, nobody wanted to use it. Or if Facebook has come in 1990s, nobody wants to use it, right? It's about the time that internet is flourishing. It's about the time that people want to connect to each other. And it's the right time you launch a product, right? And the last important thing, more than anything else, fail fast. Meaning, if you realize that this is not going anywhere despite your hope and your timing and your perseverance, don't keep hitting a wall for an extended period of time, which is going to cause you a lot of fatigue. It's it's very important to recognize your failure. I would say, not fail fast. Fail fast is a pretty old term. Let me put it in a new term, right? Recognize your failure. There are times that entrepreneurs don't recognize it. They don't want to accept it, right? So they keep pushing their boundaries to thinking that it's a hope, thinking that it's their way of showing resilience. But it's not about resilience, it's not about hope, it's about recognizing a failure. The point that you recognize that, it's where you can make a successful entry into another opportunity. Because one failure is always, as we all know, that leads to another success.
Yes. Vijay, you build a large platform that you sold in 2024. And when we talk about a large platform, we're talking about growing a business in over 60 countries and turning around and selling it for a significant amount of money. When starting as an entrepreneur, we don't see the end in mind. We don't see what your product will become, but we see what we want our product to be. How do immigrants go from idea, a vision, to executing to such a large global scale like you did?
I think your question itself has an answer, right?
Okay.
I think you should be doing many businesses. I think you have a great way of expressing, and the experiences that you are sharing seems to be phenomenal, because you don't look at where your product has to go, or the end goal of the product is going to be completely different. You might start with something and you might end up with something, right? Then that's a very successful business.
Yes.
And I think more importantly, I think the vision of your business will be alive and will be growing only when you see how that has to be executed with the changing times, right? I'll put my own experience here, right? We started this business as a platform to allow publishers to publish, and we do a revenue share with the publishers, and that's how we saw the business. We started offering single subscriptions of individual magazines and newspapers to consumers, right? If you get on our platform, you can just buy Time magazine for $50 or $40 or $70. Then you can buy Cosmopolitan magazine. You can then buy LA Times, right? It's an individual a la carte subscription that we were selling earlier. And then we realized, hey, businesses are changing, the times are changing, right? When the app ecosystem was exploding, we went to publishers and said, hey, you know what, you have to pay millions of dollars to create your own digital presence on the app platform. So we built a massive infrastructure to offer publishers to create their own white label branded apps. Even though this is very tangential to what we are doing, we kind of created a walled garden where we hold the publisher relationship. We help them to go branded on apps ecosystem like Android app ecosystem, Apple ecosystem, through our technology infrastructure. This was a very challenging decision for us because it goes against our principle of consolidated newsstand where users can come and buy. It's like coming to a mall versus going to a branded shop, right? We were trying to build a mall. At the same time, we were also building individual shops for publishers. But that decision is driven by the fact that we want to keep the publisher relationship. We want to keep it to ourselves. We want to make a walled garden. And those stores, the individual branded stores on the mall, should talk to each other. So we created a single sign-on platform, a strategic call for us, which helped us to keep the publishers together. And otherwise, we could see publishers getting out of our system, right? So this is a changing times, and this is not how we anticipated our business. But then cut to another year or so, we saw like the adoption of all you can consumer model, right? Where Netflix, Spotify, so many people were out in the market doing unlimited offering. And it's not that easy to build. Amazon's Kindle platform, it's not that easy to build. We have to go and negotiate with publishers to say that, hey, you know what, we are moving away from selling only your titles, but we want your title to be part of our unlimited offering in a different licensing model, right? So it has evolved from selling just one subscription to creating a digital extension of ARM for publishers to an unlimited reading model, if you have not done any of that in the first 4 years, beginning from 2011 to 2015, we would have been a failure. 100%. This company would have not existed after 2015, right? Because of all that changing, adoption of changing needs and recognizing the changes that is going on in the consumer mindset. Consumers don't want to read one single title. They want to have like many titles with one subscription. Those are the changing behavior. Already behavioral change is happening from consumer standpoint. They are now getting used to Apple Music. They're getting used to Spotify and Netflix and so many other subscription platforms, and they don't like any individual brands anymore. So we recognize that. Recognizing the change and adapting to the change is a crucial success than seeing where your product should be after 10 years. It's about executing your ideas with the changing times.
The beauty about this platform for me is I consider it a learning channel, right? And you talked a lot about learning, and if anybody has missed, they need to go back the last 40 or so minutes and really look at how you delved deep into how you learn as times are changing, right? Part of learning is recognizing the changing behaviors of the customers you're bringing value to, right? As an entrepreneur, when do you learn to listen so that and observe so that you can be able to tweak your idea and bring it to the market, to your customers, the way they want their idea, yet still be ahead of the curve, given the fact that we both know when you go into business venture, the way you envision your idea is not how it materializes as you're moving forward.
Exactly right. I think I will put it from an immigrant standpoint, right? So your ears should always be listening, open, and your eyes should always be peeled to changing needs, customer behavior. So as an immigrant, when you move into a new country, when you hire people from your new country, that's when we moved Maxter, when we started Maxter here, when I moved country, when we were hiring people here, the way that the people you're hiring, the way that communicate, the feedback loop with you as an employer, you should be able to recognize, first of all. That is why I call, maybe at the time it might not have connected some dots, the cultural values, right? If you are doing a business in a different country as an immigrant, you should understand the culture of the people for these reasons. When your employees are bringing certain way of expressing the market values or the changing markets, right? Some of the entrepreneurs get defensive. I have seen that. I've seen in my life, right? Hey, you know what? No. I'm right. As an entrepreneur, I always have to be right. And I don't care what you are bringing to the table, or maybe I doubt your way of dealing things or whatever, right? The employee values are employee values, no matter where you're hiring them from. They are going to communicate to you whatever they feel they are seeing in their real life when they collaborate with the consumers, your salespeople, your marketing people, when they talk to those clients and come back and tell them, irrespective of where you're hiring, they are going to talk to you if you are having that open channel. And recognizing the way that they are expressing this, recognizing the way that they are bringing those values back to you. Why are you even hiring at the end of the day? You want people to come and work for you, build the business, build the value of your product, right? So you should be able to recognize that bit when the employees come and communicate to you, right? So you should always keep your eyes and ears ready for such feedback or such moments. And of course, when you are in business, I think any entrepreneur would agree with this. They are always on the lookout for what's happening to the business, the competitive landscape, the consumer behavior, the studies that are going out. I think those are the things that anyway any entrepreneur is going to do. But I think most of the value I built, at least for Maxter, comes from my own folks, from my own employees who come to me and communicate to me that this is the direction that we might have to explore because this is what I'm seeing with the clients. And if you fail to recognize that, if you are not recognizing and staying your way, maybe you are heading towards a disaster.
So I have to jump here, right? Two things. One, on leadership. When we both know there's not a single business out there that is considered a successful business that's been built by one individual. You need a village to help you be able to become successful. In that village, you need leaders. So, as someone who's built a massive business, what should immigrant entrepreneurs, or how should immigrant entrepreneurs look at, or what values should they consider when hiring team leaders so that they can get to that value add that you're looking at? And two, when do you start really listening to your team, to your employees, so that they are not, while they want to see the success also, they're not losing what your vision is?
100%, right? I think I will tell you, I mean, like, there are changing times, right? If you look at India, like where I am from, the thought process has completely changed or changing, I would say, from an entrepreneur standpoint. Because India is a country with millions of small businesses. Everybody has some business, small shops or small outlets for certain needs and stuff like that. They are 1-person business, they are 10-person business or 50 people business. But if you go back like 25 years ago, most of the businesses are locally catering. Some, of course, some businesses are international, but we are not talking about that percentage of businesses. But most of the entrepreneurs have the mindset that they are the decision makers. They know what they're doing. They will do what they want to do, right? It's the sort of mentality that was there because that's how small businesses were, growing and thriving and build the genesis of small business in India. But I think more, I would even say like foreign investments started coming into India, for example. More venture capitalists, more private equities, more such external influences and factors came into the country. The perspective of doing a business has changed or changing because these venture capital firms or these kind of foreign collaborations opened up the idea that employee values have to be well respected, number one, and their contribution to the company is more significant towards the growth for a new age business. We are not talking about some old school businesses. These are all businesses that are thriving in the digital economy last 25 years, internet.com and so many other businesses, right? So they opened up a new idea that, hey, ownership is not about you owning 100% of the company, but then you need to start giving stock options, you need to open up ESOPs, you need to value the entire chain, right? So employees feel like they have the ownership, they can start contributing freely rather than why should I, or anyway it's not going to be taken, right? That's a value chain that this venture community or the new age business or the digital economy opened up in the last 25 years for Indians, right? Or Indian entrepreneurs, you would say. That mindset has changed a lot, and today if you look at every startup or almost every startup in India, they open up with these kind of opportunities for employees where employees can take part in sharing their ideas. Even if they share their ideas, they feel like it's not just for a monthly compensation. They feel the ownership. They feel like, hey, we are part of the ecosystem. I own stocks, and more value I add, more my stock value would be. So the ownership comes into play, right? So this mindset has opened up with many Indians today. That is a very successful and a very welcoming new way of doing business. And I think that's the most important factor, I would say, right? So in a success. And number two, when you want to start listening, I think if you have to start listening from day one. I think today, even if you look at Maxter, at some point of time, I felt like I was not doing anything at all, decision making, because all my people were deciding on where the product has to go, where the sales has to grow, which are the new segments that they need to go and sell, or how the product has to expand, or how the publisher services have to be improvised, right? So if you really look at it, there will be a stage you will know that you have done the right thing when you feel like you are no longer contributing to the company as a whole, as an entrepreneur. You know that the show is run by somebody else. So that comes based on two things. One is trust, and the trust is mutual. The trust is not one way, right? The trust is, hey, I can trust because he's going to tell me values that are actually going to help everybody. And the employee also should trust you, because he shouldn't feel like he's just telling you something for the sake of telling, but it's going to add real value, right? The entrepreneur believes in his ideas, right? It goes both ways. Once you are in a very comfortable position, once you entrust your employees with all this, and employees start believing you, and you have an open communication, there are a lot of ways an organization can carry forward with this, right? Those are all the details of running a business, meaning from day one, you should not drive any conversation. You should let people drive the conversation, right? For me, the success is I have people who even work for me even before I started Maxter. And in the exit that we had at Maxter, people who contributed and so many employees got rewarded from the exit, right? So reward is not just for the entrepreneur, reward is for everybody who contributed, right? So I'm proud to say that even the bottommost, I would not call it bottommost, or okay, I have to find a word for that, right? Even to
call it
consider
a most insignificant role in any business.
Insignificant role could be the most significant for somebody.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I mean, even like, okay, let me put it in a traditional hierarchy. If you look at the organization chart, because I always believe in horizontal chart rather than a vertical one. Mm-hmm. In my organization, anyone can come and talk to me at any point of time. I walk into anybody's cabin, I interact with anybody, irrespective of whether those people report to me or not report to me, doesn't matter, right? I have a horizontal chart all the time. But if you put it in a traditional vertical for the sake of HR, the person who is at the bottom at Maxter also got rewarded. Put it in a perspective, right? Mm-hmm. So I strongly believe in that. I think that's when the ideas are born. That is when ideas are mutually passed on to each other. So you have to keep your eyes and ears open all the time.
Okay.
I don't know if I answered your question or I missed out something.
You did, but I want us to go back to leaders.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Right. A good leader versus a bad leader. How should entrepreneurs decide between the two? How do they identify a good leader and the right leader for the right role?
Yeah. So there is a good learning that I got from many businesses that I have run, right? Good leaders won't shy away from hiring people better than them.
That's profound.
Right? It even applies to the entrepreneur, right? Sometimes entrepreneurs would even get scared. Hey, this guy is too smart. I mean, I'm no longer a 100% owner, but I'm a venture capital funded company, and if I hire a smartest of smartest, would my ass be on fire, right?
Yeah.
Right? So people should not shy away from, a good leader would not shy away to hire a person better than them. They should always look out to hire somebody who can outperform these people themselves. If you see a sign of an employee doing that, that is the best leader you have. That is the time that you would realize, because my number one guy always tries to hire a person who is better than him at any point of time. He feels like, hey, can we hire this person? I spoke with him. There are things that he knows better than me. This is the feedback that I used to get from him. Better than me. I think he would add a great value to the company. then I know he is a good leader. Good leader has to hire a person who can outperform them, right? So bad leaders, I've seen bad leaders in my organization. I have to be very honest, right? Because anyway, I'm not going to give out the names. They come and say that, you know what, I don't want to hire, this guy is very expensive, or this person is very expensive, and he has worked in like organizations where there are a lot of challenges. He has learned a lot, but I don't like to hire him. He won't be, or whoever won't be flexible. That sort of conversation, you can already feel it, right? This person doesn't want to hire for the very reason that they are not confident, and they will outperform their own leader, right?
Vijay, let me make a confession. As an entrepreneur, I have this deep seated want, need probably, to create opportunities for a lot of people. And so it drives me as an entrepreneur. In that, I find myself struggling with letting people go at certain points. While I know it is absolutely critical when a teammate has lost their passion toward your vision and the company goal, that they need to be separated. For entrepreneurs like myself that struggle with separating the wrong seed off the bus, what say you?
I have to also make a confession. I have struggled with it. I have failed the test, to be very honest.
Yeah.
Right? I think emotions take over certain point of time. I think you might know something that I have gone through my life. I believe maybe somebody has told you. That's what I feel like, because you are reading my entrepreneurial journey a bit. Right? I know there are certain people who are done with their contribution, and that separation times when it comes, or it's mutual, right? Even the employees, in that sense, right? They will also struggle whether to leave me or not, right? So they will be there for quite a bit of time with that fuzzy, clouded mindset. Hey, I don't want to leave my boss, my friend, boss, mentor. We are at that stage. They won't see you as an employee. They won't see you as a friend. They would see you as a mentor / friend, right? So they will also have the same struggle, like what we are talking about, right? So it's a mutual. The struggle is mutual, I would call it, right? Between those two souls. And I confessed, I had this struggle with two of my golden employees, I would call it, right? I worked with them for quite a long time. More than 15 years, and the time has come, I know that, but I was dragging for more than 8 to 12 months for that separation to happen.
Wow. Yeah.
Right.
Great.
So, but the lesson here, this is why I said at the beginning of this conversation, this platform I like to always share my journey, because somebody else don't have to go through what we have all gone through. Just take the gist of it and apply.
Yeah.
When the separation happens, you already know it's a lot of ease for you and for the employee. And you are ready to go to the next phase, and you are happy about it. And you know that this is a good thing for both, not just for you. And not for both, for three parties. That is you, for the employee, and of course, for the organization. More important, right? You have to look out for the company as well.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, I have gone through this. It's a very difficult lesson I have learned. But when the time comes, it has to be a mutual respect. It has to be a mutual talk. And if you let go as soon as possible, the person would be working for somebody else. They will have a different experience. They'll get more enriched. I have got employees who come back later to me saying that, hey, I want to join you back. I know I have contributed a lot in the past. I have now learned more. If you are a good boss, they might most likely come back to you. And it's up to you both to see whether there's a remarriage again here, right? Yeah. So it's a difficult decision, but to all the entrepreneurs, I would say just let go. It's good for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. I have struggled with letting people go for a very long time until I learned that sometimes when you're separating yourself from certain people, you are actually helping them be able to make a decision that is positive for themselves, right? I always struggled,
Exactly.
yeah. I always struggled with thinking I am taking what is most important to them, which is their contribution to their family, and that really was a struggle, but that really did help me. Talking about family, earlier you mentioned that you literally went into business with your wife and your partners. I think there's a reason why we are getting along really well, because I also my wife is my partner in all our entities, and we spent quite a little bit of time together talking about business and switching gears and talking about a different idea here and there. For immigrants who have a relationship either with family members who are closer to them or are their significant other, where the significant other is not involved in the business aspect of what they do, how do they bridge the gap?
So you're saying that, hey, people who are not like together
Let's
doing a
say I'm an
business.
entrepreneur and my wife is a doctor. We go
Mhm.
different ways in the morning and come back in the evening with two different experiences. Her values may not be my values, although we love each other. And that may create friction in our relationship. How do we compensate for that difference?
I think the question should be more on like if we both together in the same business, how to avoid a friction in decision making,
Go
right?
for it.
Right? Yeah, I would I think if both of them are in a different business, like for example, like you said, your spouse is a doctor and you are an entrepreneur doing a different business, I think the friction is much less, I believe, than being in a business together, because you are doing business together, the same business, and then some of the times it's not just about family decisions, it's about your business decisions which can carry into the home, right? Your home time, when you come into the home, you extend your discussions into your family time. That is when I feel there will be a lot of friction if you are not managing that well. I would be very honest, like we had times where we didn't realize we are spending too much of our family time doing business decisions later in the evening, right? Discussing about how to go about certain things and just dragging, and then it's sometimes it's good conversation, sometimes you like you said, like that there will be a lot of differences that come across the conversation. So at some point of time I realized we both like realize that this is should not be carried into the home, right? Once you're done with the work part of it, you should never talk about that at family times. But to your question, I would always think that the most trusted partner in your life, or the most trusted person in your life, is your life partner, is your spouse, I would say,
Mhm.
right? So if you are in two different professions and if you are struggling at work on something, or if there is a trouble at work, or if you have facing with a tough call, the one person that you could definitely rely on is your spouse, I would say. Those are the people who can actually look out for you, look out for the best interest of you, and getting some sort of uh, input from them would help you in decision making, right? Even though they don't understand the large part what's going on in your professional life, but then again, uh, they could be a very good trustworthy guide for you. So you can keep it within limits at the same time, but don't shy away from asking your partners on how I could do this when you are trying to or finding hard to take a difficult decision, right? So some of the times I've done that. I've found extremely helpful for me to decide something pretty quick, something so easy to decide on. But then again, there'll be a lot of things going on, but these things would definitely help. But you should know how to draw a line when it comes to your family time, because like I said, like, hey, we have one son who is now in college, and then I can't buy time. How much our money I spend, I can't even buy like 5 minutes of my time from the past, right? That's one thing that every immigrant entrepreneur should also keep in mind, because if not just entrepreneurs, immigrant parents, I would say, right? Because they are like the challenges, they are going to be growing up in a different culture, your kids, and you are still with a different culture. And then once they are out, like for us, like in India, if you look at it, right, the child still stays with their parents after 18, they still go to college. It's not a societal taboo to stay with the parents till the marriage in Indian culture.
Yes.
Right. Even the boys or girls 25 years old, they'll be working from their parents' home, and they'll be taking part in everything. That's not a cultural taboo. But whereas in a country like America, if a kid is living after 18 with their parents, it's like, are they living with their mom and dad or living with their parents? It's seen, right? It's a completely different culture, right?
Yeah.
Your child will not realize that for them this is the culture, right? After 18, like, I am a different person and I am on my own. But for you still see them as one unit. You still see them as one unit, right? So this is where I feel like you cannot buy time with the money that you're earning during your entrepreneur or your professional life, or you work for somebody. You always make time for your family, and you spend time, you pass on your cultural values, get more memories, happy memories with your family. Because at some point in time, as an immigrant parent, you are going to face this cultural difference of not as a one family unit. They are seen as a different adult, and you are a different family. You are all of it. Suddenly you are called an empty nester, or you are on your own.
I would love to see, at least in my household, the continuation of the Indian values, right? Like, I hate it that my daughter has moved out of home. I wish she would come back. Just because I still feel like we have so much more that we need to mend together, right? But that said, if we can just jump into one other aspect. If you recently had an exit, and you had a huge exit, and I'm so glad that majority, if not all of your contributors, employees, did benefit from your exit. Now that you've had the exit, based on your experience, what should immigrant entrepreneurs who dream of being acquired, what should they have ready, or how should they ready themselves before going into an acquisition?
So that's like dressing up my child, right? That's like dressing up my child. Whatever the child behaves, or however the child behaves, doesn't matter. And when you're taking him out for a family visit or friends visit, you have to dress him up very well, right? So I would put that in the perspective. If you are getting an exit, or if you're trying to get an exit, it's more important to articulate the value of your business. Align your value with the buyer. That's more important, right? I think that's the most important part of acquiring or selling a business. There is no point just to go into the market trying to sell your business. But if you consolidate your current value that you're offering to consumers or to the market, and the future value that this product can offer for the next 5 years or 10 years down the line, set a target list of potential buyers, I would say. The way that we did, like, hey, you know what? These are my 20 potential targets, right? And I'm going to reach out to them, or my banker would reach out to them. If you're looking at large numbers or a bigger acquisition, look at a banker and set a target list of acquisition. And here is the twist. You will be surprised. The buyer won't be from that 20. You will get a buyer who you probably may not even be aware of, right? The reason, if you are able to consolidate your value, put across your value, what you're offering, and your current EBITDA, profitability, and the strength of your market and employees well packed, and just go for your known 20. But you will end up selling your company to somebody who you won't even in your wild dreams would have imagined, right? So don't hesitate. There are buyers out there who will buy your business if your value aligns with them. The goal is to seek. The goal is to seek, right? There are times like opportunities come knocking at your door when I like all the internet businesses and stuff. You're doing extremely good, or if you are at that 1% of the business where people like Google or Apple or anybody come and knock at your door and say, "Hey, Vijay, just sell your business. We like your business." Right? Not everybody has the privilege, or everybody builds a business like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you are building a conventional business, if you are building a non-traditional, traditional businesses which are not that cutting edge, then you have to seek. Don't shy to seek. And first of all, if you are making an exit or if you are planning an exit, make it at the right time. To go back to our conversation, is it good to sell at X dollars 10 years later, X dollars 10 years later, or sell it at 40% of X dollars today? And what value can it build to you personally as an entrepreneur, right? So if I sold my company for $100 million today, what if I sold my company $50 million 10 years ago, right? So what time can it buy? What opportunity can it build from the last 10 years with the money that I sold with? You should recognize that that's the most important challenging factor on when to sell. And when you're ready to sell, dress the baby. Dress like nothing else can, stop them from making it look good, right? That's the most important part. And align the values. Seek, and reach out to the 20, but 20 more would come to you automatically. You reach the first 20, next 20 will come to you, and from the next 20 you will find the buyer.
I I will take this one home. When you're ready to sell, dress the baby. Very interesting. Vijay, please.
Right? I can go off the records and say something, right?
Yeah.
If you whatever dress you do, there are potential buyers who will strip you, right? I want to go off the records on this, right? They will strip you and do the strip search, right? And see what is there, and then they'll say, "Nah, I don't like it," right? So you have to be careful about it as well.
Excellent point.
Those are your competitors.
Excellent. Vijay, is there anything you wanted to share with immigrants today that we've not touched on?
Specific to American dreams, right? We all keep hearing American dream. For specific to entrepreneurs in this country, and also to all the non-entrepreneurs who are contributing to this country, right? Whatever they are contributing in any way, any form, we are not just living the American dream, but we are upgrading it. That's what I believe, right? That's how you need to see it, right? It's not about your personal upgrade or anything. I always feel like I am not living the American dream, but I am upgrading it. I am moving to this dream to next level. I'm moving this country to next level. That's how I look at it, and I'm very proud of what I accomplished and what this country has offered to me.
We are not just living the American dream, we are upgrading it.
We are upgrading it, right? So, and more importantly, I always say, that's why I was sometimes it's regretful that I did not spend a lot of time with my family, because I was living out of suitcases, right? I was living out of suitcases, meeting publishers, doing business, running around, not spending enough time with my son. But then after this exit, after this success, now my son actually feels very proud of me, right? Hey, Dad, don't worry about it. Right? You got great things, great stories to talk about. That's when it struck me. Every entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur or entrepreneur we don't carry one suitcase to this country. When we are traveling out or traveling anywhere, we now carry two suitcases. One is suitcase full of clothes, and one is suitcase full of success stories, right? Yeah. right? I'm very proud of it. When it struck me when my son, Dad, you have now very many success stories to talk about. Don't worry about it. You are inspiring to me. Don't worry about that. You have not spent time with me. You have success stories. When I realized I did not travel with one suitcase, I always came back home with one more suitcase of stories, success stories, right? I'm very happy about it.
Vijay, where can our listeners find you on social media?
Oh man, that's uh, that's a very. I have an Instagram account, but that's I don't use it for my entrepreneurial journey. I just use it for my personal one. That's called nts.vijay, N as in Nancy, T as in Tango, S as in Singapore .vijay. But I am a lot of social media consumer than a contributor in that sense, right? I'm on X. People can find me with the handle ntsvijay. I post once in a while, but I'm not pretty active. But I'm a consumer of social media. I believe in sharing ideas and thoughts, and I'm pretty open. But at the same time, I'm being very careful on segregating what could be as like reality versus someone posting something random, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you know how to differentiate that, I think you are good with social media. Social media is the pulse of my information. What do I say? Source. But I am pretty active on LinkedIn. If somebody has to connect with me professionally, they can come to me and connect me on LinkedIn. I'm very happy to connect with anybody. I'm available under my name, Vijay Radhakrishnan, and anybody can search for Vijay Radhakrishnan, Maxter. They can find me.
Excellent. Vijay, what's the one lie you think immigrants propagate?
I think you're putting me on the spot.
I am.
To be very honest, I don't know. I don't mind. I'll tell the truth. All my friends, I have got immigrant friends from Singapore, immigrant friends from Australia, immigrant friends from Dubai, immigrant friends from Europe, some other countries, right? They live there. Of course, a lot of friends from here, right? I'm not talking about entrepreneurs. I'm talking about anybody. Most of the lie, or I would say they are not realizing they are lying when they say they got the most benefit out of that new country that they moved into, but then they don't like that country, right? So I hear this quite common saying that, hey, I know I've done this in Singapore, I love it, but you know what? Nah, I don't like the system. I don't like to live there because, getting a home there is difficult. Their laws are different. But how are you very successful there? Not in your own home country. If you believe that you're successful in that country because that system, those policies made you successful, plus of course, your own efforts, but you had to recognize those or accept those in that sense, and not lie to yourself and lie to anybody that this country has not given back anything to you. Whatever you have built, your family, your professional life, everything comes from the country that you moved into. And then 20 years later, they say, you know what? No, I don't like this country. Or I'm just here. I'm doing more to this country, not the country is doing anything back to me. I have seen people from different countries doing that, not just from America. Right? This is not an American story. This is global immigrant story. They live. I'm not saying everybody. To be very honest, I've seen people who are very, very shown a great affinity and love to the country they moved to, but most of them complain about that.
Excellent. Vijay, I truly concur with what you just said. I always tell people that I am an immigrant by choice, and a really proud one, because America has given me the platform to be able to change my small world in the way that I believed God had called me to do, and for that I am truly grateful. Tribe of Immigrants, today we have been speaking with Vijay Radhakrishnan, an immigrant tech entrepreneur who built Matter to a global newsstand platform with over 87 million users and recently had an exit. You can follow us and follow this conversation on TikTok and Instagram at Immigrant Nation. And please share with your friends. You can also follow the pod on Facebook at Immigrant Nation Podcast, LinkedIn and YouTube, the Immigrant Nation Podcast. Vijay, what's your final word before we sign off?
If you liked my story, great. But if you don't like my story, just blame on my multiple jet lags that I have traveling from different countries. In the last 2-3 months, quite a lot of travel. If you don't like my story today or the way that I have told, just blame it on my jet lag.
Listen, fantastic, fantastic. I'm sure immigrants across the globe are applauding you for the success you've had, the influence you've had in this world, and we're truly, truly grateful that you made the time for us here at the Immigrant Nation podcast. Before we sign off, I just need you to make one commitment that you're coming back soon.
Martin, of course, it's not. I think, to be very honest, I've not yet opened up as much as I wanted to. I have a lot, right? But time is not on our favor, and we are
Absolutely.
running short of time. But I would love to come back to your talk show any point of time, Martin. Anytime, I'll be your guest.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you for coming today, and hopefully we will connect soon. Bye bye, Vijay.